Interestingly, this story begins with a deck of cards created in the 1980s by Steve Jackson Games, with later versions created into the 90s. This deck of cards has made very accurate predictions, such as the false flag attack on the World Trade Center on 9/11, and the attack on the Pentagon on the same day. Princess Diana died in mysterious circumstances, allegedly while fleeing the paparazzi, so one could argue that this card predicts her demise. And depending what year this card was released, it either predicts or refers to the Waco massacre of 1991, where the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, or the BATF, burned down the Branch Davidian Church, killing over 70 people, many of whom were children. The card game also refers to past and present events such as NASA faking the moon landings, the rewriting of history, gun control, an energy crisis, weather manipulation, subliminal messages, and the subversive power of the Vatican. The card game also features cards which have not yet come to pass, for example, further chaos, a fake alien invasion, and World War III. The whole point of this is to show you that the hidden elite powers of the world plan things many years ahead of time and leave clues in unlikely places. I will be showing you many examples of this as we go on. Also, we may be able to use these clues to make an educated guess at what is coming. It is demonstrable that various secret societies around the world play a significant part in major world events. The main secret societies for the sake of this video are the Knights Templar, Freemasonry, and the Skull and Bones Society. These secret societies are obsessed with ritual, symbolism, and numbers. On Friday the 13th of October, 1307, the society known as the Knights Templar were arrested and tried for heresy against the Church. In order to avoid punishment, many of the remaining Templars went into hiding only to emerge years later as the Freemasons. The most significant number in Freemasonry is 33, because it is the highest attainable degree in the Scottish Rite. This number will crop up a lot more as we continue. The Knights Templar also controlled the original pirates, who operated under the black flag with a white skull and crossbones, a logo which is still used today by the Skull and Bones Society of Yale University. Their number is 322, which will also be significant as we proceed. Like a serial killer, these secret societies leave their numbers behind at terror events, rather like a signature. For example, JFK. A few miles from the 33rd parallel lies Elm Street in Dallas, Texas, the location of the assassination of JFK. Dallas, Texas, in numerology is 33. Kennedy in numerology is 33. JFK was killed on the 22nd of November, or the 22nd of the 11th, the sum of which is 33. Kennedy was shot at Dealey Plaza, which is, according to some researchers, an outdoor temple of the sun. And on Kennedy's gravesite you will find an eternal flame burning. This is one last insult to him, because the eternal flame has great esoteric significance to the Luciferian secret societies. These are just a few examples of the Luciferian signature left behind concerning John F. Kennedy. In the UK, in May 2004, there was an episode of Panorama called London Under Attack, which featured a terrorist attack in London very similar to those experienced in reality 14 months later, known as the 7/7 bombings. This is what is known as predictive programming, whereby the establishment informs the masses of what is going to happen before it actually does. This concept proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that these so-called terrorist attacks are premeditated by the country in which they occur. They are not unexpected attacks from an outside force of Islamic extremists. They are just the scapegoats. But in this predictive programming episode of Panorama, which prophesies the 7/7 bombings, there was a man by the name of Peter Power. He featured as a so-called expert on Panorama to tell everybody what would happen if something like this did occur. But in an unbelievable act of prophecy, Peter Power was conducting a terrorism training operation on the morning of 7/7 in the exact location that the real terrorist attacks occurred. See how they like to rub it in your face? It becomes much more clear as we go on. Another example of predictive programming would be the album cover of The Coup's Party Music. This quite clearly shows the destruction of the World Trade Centers, but it was created in June 2001, 3 months before the 9/11 attacks actually took place. Friday the 13th of November 2015 was the date of the Bataclan attacks in Paris. This false flag attack happened at an Eagles of Death metal concert and interrupted their performance while they were playing a song called Kiss the Devil. After this false flag terrorist attack, in respect for the victims who died there, the Eagles of Death metal released a song called Save a Prayer, which is a cover version from a band called Duran Duran, who released it 33 years previously. Duran in numerology is 9. So Duran Duran is 99. Remember this. I'd also like to draw your attention to this curious unidentified gold object on the floor at the Bataclan attack. It is unclear what this is, but it will become relevant later. In addition, the blood smears on the floor resemble the logo for the Brussels airport, which is the location of the next terrorist attack. The number 322 underneath the Skull and Bones Society logo can refer to a date, the 22nd day of the 3rd month, or March 22nd. On Tuesday, 22nd of March, or 322, 2016, there was a false flag terrorist attack in Belgium, in Brussels, where bombs were detonated at an airport and an underground train network. 33 years prior to this, AC/DC released an album called Flick of the Switch, which featured a song called Bedlam in Belgium. Bedlam meaning a scene of uproar and mayhem, as was experienced in Belgium on 3/22/2016, 33 years later. There is also a golden-coloured, large sculpture in Brussels airport. Following our gold theme, you should remember this for later. Later, in 2016, on the 14th of July, there was a false flag terrorist attack along the French Riviera. A truck was deliberately driven into crowds of people celebrating Bastille Day. 1 month previously, a film was released called Bastille Day, in which a rogue CIA agent is on a mission to stop a terrorist attack in France. Now let me say that again, folks. In June 2016, a film was released about a terrorist attack in France. The film is called Bastille Day. 1 month later, in July 2016, there was a terrorist attack in France on Bastille Day. Exactly 1 year after the Belgium attacks, on 3/22/2017, there was another terrorist attack, this time in London. So, what music could be significant 33 years prior to this? Well, a good place to look would be the UK charts, and what we find here is mind-blowing. 33 years ago was 1984, and on 3/22/1984, the UK number 1 was 99 Red Balloons by Nina, and this is actually very significant. In the music video for this song, we see Nina walking along with 2 3s on either side of her. So, we have our 33 again. And, in the German version of the song called 99 Luftballons, which was released 1 year previously, we see Nina with Skull and Bones earrings on. So, we have a reference to 3/22 before the song was even released in English and got to number 1 on 3/22. Also, Nina is German, and all of her songs are in German, apart from this one, which was released in English and reached number 1 in the UK charts exactly 33 years prior to a terrorist attack in England. So we have 33, which could be 33 years. We have our 322, and we have English, or England. But now we need to examine the lyrics to this song. Now this song is actually talking about a war with extraterrestrials. Now hold on, I know that sounds ridiculous, but just listen to these lyrics. But I must qualify here, I don't think aliens are real. If there was a battle in our sky with UFOs, it would be another false flag event. And remember, whenever there is a UFO sighting, the official story is that it was just a balloon of some sort. In fact, the official story for the famous Roswell crash, which happened at 33 degrees north on the 7th of July, or 7/7, is still that it was a US Air Force balloon. It will become clear that these 99 red balloons is a code for UFOs, but just bear with me on this one. So here we go. You and I in a little toy shop buy a bag of balloons with the money we've got, set them free at the break of dawn till one by one they were gone. Back at base, bugs in the software. Now later this will become clear that this is referring to a military base. Flash the message, something's out there. Floating in the summer sky, 99 red balloons go by. 99 red balloons floating in the summer sky. Is that could be referring to this summer? I don't know. Panic bells, it's red alert. There's something here from somewhere else. The war machine springs to life. That's a reference to going to war. Opens up one eager eye. Now that's a direct reference to secret societies. The one eager eye is the eye of Lucifer. Focusing it on the sky where 99 red balloons go by. 99 Decision Street, 99 ministers meet. So this is something very significant happening. To worry, super scurry. Call the troops out in a hurry. Again, that's a direct reference to war. This is what we've waited for. This is it, boys. This is war. The president is on the line, so this is something very significant happening, as 99 red balloons go by. 99 Knights of the Air ride super high-tech jet fighters, so that's war again. Everyone's a superhero, everyone's a Captain Kirk. Now, Captain Kirk was a character from Star Trek, so this is, a reference to a fictional intergalactic character. With orders to identify, to clarify and classify. Scramble in the summer sky, 99 red balloons go by. This summer sky is consistent throughout the song, so a question would be, what's going to happen in the summer sky? Is it this summer? I don't know. 99 dreams I have had, in every one a red balloon. It's all over and I'm standing pretty, in this dust that was a city. So this could be a reference to a city being destroyed. So I believe that this song is referring to a fake alien invasion. And let's get one thing straight, it will be fake. We currently have flocks of so-called truth-seekers running around talking about an extraterrestrial presence on Earth, not realising that they are being deceived into a huge psyop. You've got controlled opposition agents like Freemason David Icke and Jordan Maxwell and many, many more, pushing this agenda, not to mention the fact that it was the CIA who set up the UFO magazines and the goofologist conferences in the US, along with a blatant Hollywood campaign to condition us all to believe in aliens, and mainstream programs like Ancient Aliens, which has thoroughly been debunked, by the way. I'll leave links in the description. All of this is leading up to a false extraterrestrial visitation or invasion, the result of which will be to unite the world against a common enemy in a new world order or a one-world totalitarian government, which is the main agenda of the elite. And as far as alien abductions go, they can just as easily be explained by CIA mind control and implanted memories. Some people even suggest that there is a demonic aspect to it all. There are testimonies of people who, while being abducted, have called upon Jesus Christ, and subsequently the experience has stopped, and they were woken up in bed. If you believe aliens are intergalactic rather than spiritual, then I would advise looking at it all again with a more open mind. In numerology, 99 red balloons is 999. 9 and 9 is 18, which 1 and 8 is 9. Red is 18, which again goes down to 9, and balloons is 27, and 2 and 7 goes down to 9. So 999 could refer to the emergency contact number of the United Kingdom, so we're back in England again. Or it could refer to the inversion of 666. I don't know. Also, something that will become relevant later is that Nina left high school before graduating and trained to be a goldsmith. So just remember this for later on. Another band that we've mentioned before is Duran Duran, which in numerology is 99. They had significance 33 years prior to the Bataclan attacks, so did they have anything relevant 33 years before 2017? Well, they had 3 songs enter the UK charts in 1984, one called The Reflex, the lyrics to which I was unable to decipher, another song called A New Moon on Monday, which reached number 9 in the charts. The music video to this depicts a horse and cart being loaded with explosives, and at the end of the video you see a kite in the night sky, which appears to be a UFO, or a fake UFO. So again, we're back at the fake alien invasion. And a verse to this song actually kind of spoke to me. It says, "Breaking away with the beast of both worlds, a smile that you can't disguise. Every minute I keep finding clues that you leave behind." So I checked, and the only new moon on Monday this year falls on the 21st of August. And Duran Duran's third and final song to enter the UK charts 33 years ago was called Wild Boys, where they even reference an August moon. It says, "The wild boys are calling on their way back from the fire. In August, moons surrender to a dust cloud on the rise." So just remember the 21st of August, it might have some significance, it may not. Also, 33 years ago was the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. In the closing ceremony, we see a UFO land, and an alien actually gets out and speaks to the crowd. This happened on the 12th of August 1984, which was a full moon. Also, if you put this date into a numerology calculator, or if you add each digit together, you will get 33. So, just like predictive programming, this could be telling us what will happen 33 years later in 2017. I feel I should also mention Iron Maiden here. In 1984, Iron Maiden had 2 songs enter the UK charts, both of which are about war. Aces High describes a battle between aircraft, and 2 Minutes to Midnight is the countdown to a nuclear attack. And the music video to this song is very interesting. It shows a group of terrorists, but it also shows a hidden hand type conspiracy where so-called officials identify with each other using the occult symbol of the Eye of Horus. What's interesting is that in the video we see a shot of Big Ben under repair, followed by a shot of a model missile. And other researchers have pointed out that there has been a negative theme in the UK media about Big Ben, often talking about structural problems and mechanical problems. There has also been a lot of demolitions of Big Ben happen in films. In the 2016 film called London Has Fallen, we see a scene of combined disasters in London. One has to ask, is this more predictive programming? Is something big going to happen in London? So it's all very well looking at all of these terror events and viewing the symbolism in hindsight, but can we use any of this to make a prediction? Well, no, I would never be so stupid, but we can make an educated guess. One could make an interesting case for suggesting that there will be a terrorist attack at a Slam Dunk Music Festival in England. 99 Red Balloons was famously covered by a band called Goldfinger, who added a much more heavy element to it. They also incorporated some of the German lyrics too. They released the song in 2000, 17 years after the German version was released. 17 years after that brings us up to the year 2017. Now, Goldfinger will be performing at Slam Dunk Festival this year, at the end of May. So, we have a musical connection to the previous false flag attack in England on 322, because Goldfinger always finished their set with 99 Red Balloons. Also, Slam Dunk 2017 in numerology is 33. Now, Slam Dunk Festival visits 3 different locations on the final weekend of May, starting in Birmingham, then moving to Leeds, then back down to Hatfield. The obvious location for something to happen would be Hatfield, since it is next door to London. Also, the location is the University of Herts, Hatfield, which in numerology is 99. However, one could just as easily make an argument for Leeds. Slamdunk will visit Leeds on the 28th of May, or the 28th day of the 5th month, the sum of which is 33. And in Leeds, they close the roads off and hold the festival in the town centre. The main stage is located in front of the town hall, on either side of which are 2 pillars with golden owls on top. So we have the 2 pillars of Freemasonry and the occult significance of the owl, a symbol of wisdom and intellect. This is also reminiscent of the giant owl statue at Bohemian Grove, which is literally worshipped by the idiots who attend. This also ties into the gold theme. There was the gold object on the floor at the Bataclan attacks, the large gold sculpture at the scene of the Belgium attacks, Nina trained to be a goldsmith, her song was covered by Goldfinger, and now we have golden owls. Now all this doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a false flag terror attack at Slamdunk. It could just be that they are confirming the final steps towards the false flag alien visitation, as described in the song 99 Red Balloons. However, I certainly wouldn't rule terrorism out. The main point is that you all prepare thoroughly for what may be looming on the horizon. And finally, I think that 2017 will be a significant year. You see, 70 years ago, on the 7th of the 7th, was the Roswell crash. Also, it's 33 years since 1984. 1984 is the title of George Orwell's very prophetic book. But perhaps the most significant is that the 31st of October marks 500 years since the Protestant Reformation by Martin Luther. This marked the beginning of the loss of power of the Vatican, the result of which shattered the Catholic Church. Also, it's 300 years since the founding of the Freemason Grand Lodge of England. According to FreemasonryToday.com, the first Grand Lodge formation was the 24th of June 1717, so 300 years later is the 24th of June 2017, perhaps a date for the diary. But the website also says that they will be holding a major international gathering on the 31st of October 2017, so that's the second pointer to this date. Now, this is where it gets crazy. This international gathering will be held at the Royal Albert Hall in London. 2017 marks 150 years since construction began for the hall. A strange theory, but considering the opposition between English Freemasonry and the Vatican, is it possible that Rome will carry out an attack on the Royal Albert Hall on October 31st this year, during the Freemason International Gathering? I mean, we even have the predictive programming for this. The film London Has Fallen begins with an international gathering of major world leaders in London, where they are systematically murdered, mainly through explosive means. Or perhaps an attack will happen elsewhere, and the prominent Freemasons will be in the Albert Hall in order to avoid it. You could argue it both ways. Now, of course, I'm not stating this as fact. I am merely speculating and using the symbols of the past to attempt to see into the future. Perhaps it doesn't mean anything and it's just a coincidence that they're holding the international gathering on the 31st of October. Let me know what you think. But I think something significant will happen this year. Perhaps the 21st of August, perhaps the 24th of June, or more likely the 31st of October. Also, remember, Friday the 13th of October is the anniversary of the suppression of the Knights Templar. The 13th of October hasn't landed on a Friday for 11 years, but 2017 it does fall on a Friday. Perhaps another date to look out for. Another example of predictive programming which I found during this research is in the Batman film Dark Knight Rises, the camera hovers for a second over a map of Gotham City, on which the place name Sandy Hook has been circled. The film was released in July 2012, 5 months before the Sandy Hook shooting. The second strand to this example is that during a midnight screening of this film, on the 20th of July 2012, the so-called lone nut, James Holmes, entered the movie theatre and opened fire on the audience, killing a total of 12 people. And 3 days before this happened, the rapper Lil Wayne released his music video for his song My Homies Still. Featured in this video is a scene in a cinema showing 12 skeletons. Now this prophesied the 12 people who would be killed 3 days later in the Aurora shootings in the cinema. The lyrics of this song really suck, but it even references a semi-automatic no-click click, and I gotta put that patch over my third eye. I found that interesting. Also, Family Guy are said to have prophesied the Boston Marathon bombings, with an episode which depicted eerily similar details which would later happen in real life. Some people suggest that this is what the Illuminati card Joggers depicts. So that brings this video to a close. I would like to thank Russianvids, who pointed out the Bedlam in Belgium AC/DC song being released 33 years before the Belgium attacks. That is what really sparked this research. Russianvids also points out that the license plates of the vehicles at these terror events often adds up to 33 in numerology. I will leave links in the description. Take care, everyone.